Vitamin B6 deficiency leads to magnesium dysfunction. But when B6 arrives, magnesium function restores, and vitamin D receptors become active again.
In this video, I wanted to talk about the huge impacts of venison on many different aspects of cancer and how venison can really help out a person if they are trying to prevent cancer. So the first major benefit of venison is that it is rich in B vitamins, particularly B12 and B6, which are crucial for red blood cell formation. That's so that there is an improved oxygen delivery and transport via the red blood cells, therefore reducing tissue hypoxia. Hypoxia can be very problematic for the immune system because hypoxia is a very strong driver of M2 phenotype macrophages. That means that the M2 phenotype is protecting the tumor instead of attacking the tumor, because tumors know how to make macrophages from M1 phenotype, which is attacking the tumor, to M2 phenotype, which is tumor supportive. But venison with B12 can improve glutathione levels so that glutathione can reduce advanced glycation end products. Because if ages are to the irreversible stage, this can negatively impact actin polymerization. That's needed for the PSMAC formation. If you've seen my other videos, you already know that the tumor hates the PSMAC because the PSMAC is the end of the tumor. But venison can help support PSMAC formation to attack tumors. Also, B12 upregulating glutathione reverses or helps reverse ages so that the ECM does not get rigid. Because if the ECM is rigid, then the immune cells cannot go in to attack cancer cells. And I've said that many times in my previous videos. Now, venison can also help prevent tumors from getting glucose or sugar as a substrate or fuel source. And the way venison does that is by reducing hypoxia that drives angiogenesis. Angiogenesis is basically blood vessels that tumors use to gain glucose out of the bloodstream, because the blood vessels, they can transfer sugar over to the tumors and feeding the tumors that way, possibly even depriving the body of glucose as well. But I'll have to cover that in a different video because that's a whole different topic. Because tumors, they upregulate GLUT1 and GLUT3, and that's how tumors get sugar from the blood vessels from excessive glucose in the bloodstream. But of course, venison helps reduce angiogenesis blood vessels because venison helps improve oxygen delivery with the red blood cells. Okay, so it seems that venison is an anti-cancer powerhouse, a great weapon to use against cancer, because venison also has zinc, and this can lead to oncogene suppression. Oncogenes are basically genes that drive cancer, because adequate zinc can help maintain proper chromatin structure closed. So closed, another word for closed chromatin is also heterochromatin, and adequate zinc can close chromatin at certain oncogenic loci, suppressing their transcription. Because if chromatin is opened, that will actually lead to the upregulation of oncogenic transcription that drives cancer. But if it's closed at oncogene locations. Thanks to zinc, that will suppress cancer. Now, here's another way that venison weakens cancer, because venison has iron. That way, for vitamin A absorption, leading to intrinsic factor for vitamin B12, because the vitamin B12 makes glutathione to reduce ages. But another way iron helps is by um, allowing red blood cells to deliver oxygen around the body to reduce the strong driver of macrophage M2 phenotypes, which is the hypoxia, as well as the angiogenesis that allows tumors to take glucose as a fuel source. So iron can take glucose away from tumors in its own way. And to make things even better, another way that a venison um, weakens cancer is that venison can help reduce bacterial biofilms that cancer uses to shield and protect itself from macrophages and T cells. And the way venison does that is by upregulating glutathione. And the way it does that is with the vitamin B12 as a result of the intrinsic factor. So vitamin B12 creates glutathione, and glutathione contains a cysteine thiol or thiol, however you want to say it. And basically, biofilms are sensitive to these thiols, because these thiols can disrupt the biofilm integrity, leaving the cancer cells vulnerable to macrophage and T cell attack if the biofilm is not protecting the cancer cell or pathogens. And also another rather critical and devastating hit against cancer is that vitamin B6 in venison helps support magnesium levels. This is to disrupt the exosome delivery to tumors, because once tumors receive the exosomes, tumors can wreak a lot of havoc. It's even rather terrifying, but I can explain all those negative effects, the negative terrifying effects of exosomes if tumors receive the exosomes. And the way magnesium does that is that it supports the lysosomal membrane, because magnesium repairs and the lysosomal membrane by upregulating repair enzymes, so that the lysosome is not leaking due to peroxidation. Because if the lysosome is leaking, it will leak out cathepsins, and the lysosomes will not be able to degrade exosomes, because cathepsins are responsible for degrading exosomes. So if magnesium can help out the lysosome, then the tumor will not receive the exosomes if the cathepsins are not leaking from the lysosome. Okay, so quick recap. Venison has B vitamins to support red blood cells. That way, the tumors cannot get glucose from blood vessels, because red blood cells will deliver oxygen to prevent tissue hypoxia, because hypoxia promotes angiogenesis, which is blood vessels for tumors. Venison provides zinc to keep chromatin closed at oncogenic locations, reducing oncogenes that drive cancer. Venison also provides iron, so that vitamin B12 is able to make glutathione to reduce advanced glycation end products. The glutathione, thanks to venison and B12, contains thiols that degrades biofilms that protects cancer cells, leaving the cancer cells vulnerable to immune cell attack, such as macrophages and T cells. And the vitamin B6 in venison supports magnesium, so that the lysosomal membrane and cathepsins can degrade exosomes, so that tumors cannot do their devastating damage with the exosomes. So that's it for the video. If you want future videos, like, comment, share, subscribe, and keep it locked in here on my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.